Tip that I want you to take away with this video is understanding what the symptoms are for obstructive sleep apnea. And then if you have those symptoms and you're not aware that you have obstructive sleep apnea, that you go see a medical provider and have a sleep study done. Because impacts of obstructive sleep apnea on the body with someone who has PTSD and anxiety when you sleep. Your body should be recovering from a day full of stress, anxiety. But if you have obstructive sleep apnea, that recovery is not happening. And it will be very detrimental to you if you do not get help with obstructive sleep apnea. Of all the study I've done on the brain and all the study I've done on sleep apnea, and it made me realize that this point I'm sharing with you today is understanding if you have the symptoms of sleep apnea, you need to go get help if you have PTSD, because your PTSD, to deal with it, it's going to be more difficult if you're not addressing the sleep apnea. Now let's go into that. Understanding what happens to your body when you have sleep apnea at night. So every time you have an apnea episode, fight or flight response kicks off. The hypothalamus control center sends warnings out to the amygdala. The amygdala then sends multiple signals out to various glands. Those glands then begin to excrete multiple hormones. These hormones are going to various parts of the body, affecting multiple organs. Okay, and so what is happening if there's a chronic release of all these hormones? Those organs are getting too much of these hormones, which is bad for the organs. But what is of most important, which is something I figured out looking at all the symptoms I have right now, is constant secretion of hormones drains the supply of hormones within these glands. And once that hormone has been depleted, it cannot do its regulatory process, which then leads to a full array of symptoms. You have PTSD, and at night your body should be recovering, but it's on overdrive. It's dealing with more stress because it keeps triggering the fight or flight response from gasping for air. I did the math, and I was looking, if I average 20 episodes per hour, over a year, I've had 42,300 times that the amygdala has triggered my hormones. And that's what's totally jacking me up right now. So key takeaway, symptoms for sleep apnea. If your husband or wife state you snore a lot, you wake up gasping for air in the middle of the night, you're constantly fatigued. If you have PTSD and you have the signs and symptoms of sleep apnea, you need to go get help.